What about Aerodrome and Velodrome differentiates them from other DEXs? Like you said you took like all the best features from existing DEXs to create this new one. What are they?
Yeah. So, you can think about a few different dynamics or a few different aspects of things that when you add them all together make up like what a DEX is. So obviously there's like the underlying AMMs and the big winning AMMs of the last few years have basically been Uni V2 style full range pools, right? Even with Uni V3, plenty of liquidity pools, plenty of tokens, very well served by Uni V2 style pools. You've got curve style stable swap pools. They're very much optimized for those highly correlated assets. And then you've got Uni V3 style concentrated liquidity pools, which are very, very good for the like highest volume, most traded pools. But if you are looking to interact with those different AMMs, I mean, ideally, you don't want to have to go to Curve if you want one thing. You don't want to go to Uni if you want another. Toggle between the V2 interface, the V3 interface, or things like that. And then even on L2s, like when we launched, Uni was just deploying their V3 there. They weren't even launching their V2 or things like that. So one aspect of it was let's grab all the best AMM models and let's put them in one place. But another aspect of it is like the core underlying economic model. And like the big innovation that Curve brought to the AMM space, I think it was actually around the token and incentivization model, right? If you are like a new project or protocol looking to deploy and incentivize your liquidity, usually Uniswap is not the best way to do it. And Curve had this amazing model whereby you could incentivize voters. Voters would direct emissions to your pool, help you bootstrap, solve that cold start problem. And then there's this utility of the token where it can be taken and locked and voted to direct emissions, and then you're earning a percentage of the overall fees the protocol generates. So you've begun to stitch together the different user groups, right? Which is going to be liquidity providers get something, traders get something, and then the token lockers and voters get something. And it's all about how do you connect together these three groups into a really well-balanced model. But there were aspects of like the Curve model that are suboptimal, right? For instance, as a Curve voter, right, you are getting a percentage of the total amount of fees generated. But if you vote for a highly productive pool, something that's generating millions in fees, you get the same reward as somebody voting for a pool that generates like hundreds of dollars in fees. And so there's not the sort of automatic self-optimizing system. If you want any ability to get liquid on your locked Curve position, you have to go deposit that into Convex. Convex is going to give you, the liquid tokens back. They are going to take their own sort of fee or cut from that. So there's a degree of value escaping the system. Features that in theory could be built into the base layer are now built into this entirely different product, and that product's going to take a degree of rent there. If you want to use the vote optimizer in Vodium, which is a great product, and it's one of my first favorite products, when I was first using DeFi, that's another layer, it's another product, it's another degree of fees there. And so our thinking was let's take, very much the parts of Curve that were so innovative from an economic standpoint. Let's upgrade them, right? Let's make them even more optimal than what we saw with Curve. Let's take all those best AMM types and let's tie it together into this single streamlined design, and also continue to make improvements. Like even our Slipstream, which is our version of Uni V3 style concentrated liquidity. I think we've applied things like wider tick spacing to require less rebalancing. When you combine that model with the token incentive model, it delivers a more sustainable and predictable stream of rewards. If you're like an LP on Uni, if it's a big volume day, you might make a ton of fees. If it's a low volume day, you might make very little in fees. And us sort of directing emissions rewards only to active liquidity in a predictable way also kind of makes it a better LPing experience. So yeah, I really think it's taking all of the best parts of the DEX landscape, making improvements based on what we've seen that's worked and not, and putting it together into this streamlined design.